unfortunately, Debian 5 was not the most aesthetically advanced OS. But you know what was? The one and only. You know you love it. Windows 7 is somehow at this intersection of both not having the enshittification that would plague later Windows OSs, while still having enough vision to not just keep things the same and pander to sort of the core nerd user base, but to expand further and reinvent the wheel until that wheel looks shiny and perfect and transparent. God, I love Frutiger Arrow and late 2000 aesthetics. More corporal slop, please, as long as it's transparent. You know, Microsoft of all people, outdoing Apple in aesthetics certainly wasn't on my bingo card, but by God, they've done it. And this is an era where Apple's aesthetics were also peak. Just look at the iPhone 4. Thing looks perfect. iOS before version 7 was incredible. It looked so peak. And Mac OS X switched away from the aqua and sort of the more playful design to a design language I can describe as skeuomorphic, but also, and possibly more importantly, extremely posh, polished to a mirror sheen. Skeuomorphic aesthetics featuring drop shadows and tasteful textures and depth effects. It was just chef's kiss. Mwah! But even with all that, and this is of course just my opinion, Windows 7 nailed it. Even beyond aesthetics, the OS just worked. It was performant, smooth, smart, modern, and technically a lot of its features were pioneered in Vista first, but look at it and look at Vista. It's clearly that Hello HR meme in action. And if Vista was the phone, then it wouldn't work. That really breaks the meme format, doesn't it? But regardless, this was the era when Full HD 1920 by 1080 was becoming popular and HD-ready resolutions of 1280 by 720, and infamously 1366 by 768, which was on every single laptop, even spawning this vintage meme. Windows 7 managed to look just as good on Full HD displays as it did on some of the lower resolution ones as well. Windows 7 was the first OS I installed on my own personal computer that I actually owned. Not a shared family one, not one I was borrowing, and not one that my parents had like ultimate say over. It was still not something I bought myself. I was like, 13, 14? But yeah, it was cool though. It was awesome to see it back in the day. And the laptop I had matched it so good too. Sure, some things age Windows 7. Not the look so much, but the technicals. The plug and play is an ambitious name for a feature that seems to work depending on the position of the planets more than anything, especially compared to later versions where basic universal drivers exist and basically you never really have to install drivers at all unless it's to enable some extra special features. And yeah, the enshittification does begin here with the Windows Update spam, Action Center. Some people would also include the UAC prompts in that, but in my opinion, that was kind of a necessary evil. Windows security was pretty bad before Vista, where the UAC prompts actually came in, and UAC is somewhat necessary in many ways, just to have modern, sensible user access controls. It's just a great way to limit damage if some kind of malicious code does run on a computer. But regardless, a lot of these things are here to stay. And I don't know about anyone else, but I always found the Windows Media Player to be kind of useless for actually playing any media. I mean, there was MPC-HC, which I only just realized is a follow-up from that Media Player Classic. I never knew that. I only knew of MPC-HC. I had no idea and never really questioned why it was called that. I mean, I assumed it was a continuation of some other program, but I didn't realize it was something that was in Windows Circa 1. The more you know. But everyone I knew installed VLC. But hey, Windows 7 still did all that stuff and much more in such good style. Look, when an aesthetic of Windows created by Microsoft becomes a trend 15 years later with the kids actually accurately attributed to and named after the dude who designed it, and most people like me who grew up with the stuff don't even find it annoying or cringe, unlike many other things young people are usually nostalgic from for your time that you hated. And some truly enlightened individuals, such as myself, even spring for an impulse purchase of a quote-unquote Frutiger Aero keyboard on AliExpress. Whoa, shit, I think they nailed this one. There we are. Look at that. It's much cleaner, much tidier right away. I got us a web browser and some network connectivity. I feel like this came out in 2009, and I got that YouTube 2009 UI that I can use. So I feel like this is perfect. This is my childhood right here. The first computer I had that was truly my own ran Windows 7, and I just have a great amount of nostalgia for it. Really. Yeah, I feel like this was such a thing. But yeah, I feel like more time appropriate. Well, you've seen me customize Windows 10 to look like Windows 7. You've seen me play some music of the time that I find cool or interesting. But yeah, also this look of this browser, so classic. I really remember when Chrome looked like this. It was pretty cool. There's usually like a user button at the top right here as well for like Chrome profile. Yeah. Check out that Windows Media Center. Oh my god. Well, I'm still not going to set it up. I've never used this back then either. But yeah, they're really doing a big like push, for that sort of thing. Get a fully transparent gadget menu. No more like stuff for no more a sidebar. I think there is a sidebar, but I don't think you're forced to use it for the widgets anymore. I think you can just put them anywhere. Yeah, that's pretty cool. A little bigger size and whatnot. Yeah, it's neat. And this performs much better. It works much better, just period. Except this won't close for some reason. I guess there was like a pop-up. But yeah, the Explorer. Definitely some revamped icons in here. You get the beginning of libraries, which I've never been too big a fan of. Especially because it doesn't show them in my computer. That's a tweak that I always do. On any system these days, I just prefer to have the one like start thing that everything I would want, shortcuts, whatever the hell, everything. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, what can you even say? It's Windows 7. It's probably my favorite. Yeah, 6.1 to be more precise, apparently. Might as well do the classic. Again, this also has UAC, user access controls. After how much of a disaster XP was, it's a necessary evil. That you have actual user accounts, and administrator is more like a pseudo status that you can take on, but it does become increasingly annoying and get used for and shitifying the OS by Microsoft later, so. But for now, there it is. Still making the sound, too. Or at least I think it did at first. Maybe it doesn't play it in a row. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't play it. Maybe I thought I heard that in my head. Well, anyway. Yeah, pretty cool. You get a brand new Internet Explorer with a new icon. Not going to use that, but you get it. There's Bing, whatever, what have you. Recycle bin icon now changes with how much stuff you put in it. So if I drop that in there, you're going to see it's now full. I really like that. I don't know if that was in Windows Longhorn or even in XP for that matter. But yeah, I really love the version of Explorer here. I think it's probably my favorite of the lot. Even though it's kind of minimalistic, it's just so aesthetically pleasing. I don't even mind it. Like, it really was peak Microsoft at this time because somehow it was like, yeah, how about you don't connect to the internet? Or, well, I mean, I guess you can do that. Don't set up any stores, thank you. It was iTunes era, I suppose, for the Zune, whatnot. But, yeah, you got Action Center, which I feel like was kind of, the evolution of the alerts and notifications, which I thought this kind of lame. I'm not really that big a fan of it. Get, same properties as Vista. Get, I think, control panel. Like, this is probably my favorite control panel, even though you do always have to do the extra step of just showing all of them. But yeah, it's just neatly laid out. I never thought control panel was like a particularly good interface. It is nice, all the stuff in here. I don't want it to go away. I like having the controls. I just always thought there's probably a better way to lay them out somehow. Like a proper settings menu, you know. They do try later on and almost kind of succeed, I think. But yeah, I feel like every other OS, like Mac OS and whatnot, they have like a proper settings menu, and this just doesn't. Instead, you just get these kind of disparate things about the place, and you never know what it's gonna open. If it's gonna open like a new window, or if it's gonna open like yeah, like this, or if it's gonna open something else. I don't know if anybody ever did this, but ticking this on like someone else's computer is always bound to result in some hilarity. Like, I remember doing that at school. That was pretty fun. Swap their mouse buttons, watch them try to figure it out. Again, the the Windows 7 basic theme is pretty ugly. I feel like I have a lot of negative memories associated with this, of like work computers and just dodgy school computers, some that never worked right or whatever. But yeah, not a fan. I feel like the Windows Classic theme looks pretty cool though. They did combine it. There's no like Windows Standard, Windows Classic. I think it's just Windows Classic. But I'm sure you could probably change the color, maybe. What does this do? Oh, that's just the background color, sure. You know, I want to keep it nice and Windowsy. Oh dear. Oh, it looks like Windows 3.1 or something. Oh, whatever. Don't care, didn't ask. Yeah, Windows 7. Yeah, all these... You get these cool themes with their own sounds. That's always so cool. I feel like Windows 7, the sounds are great. Oh my god. Last of Us department, we got a winner. Oh god, can you imagine? You fucking plug in a USB stick to like at work or something and it does this. And then immediately. Followed by that. Oh god! That's a great... I feel like the exclamation sounds great. It's so long! Oh dear. Really, for that, Oh, that was pretty cool. What's a critical battery alarm sound like? It's because the battery's lower. Oh dear. I like how those sounds are still the same. Kind of dig this one. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Let's just keep it nice and default for now, shall we? Okay. Oh, there we go. I think this was gifted to me for Christmas. Kind of a lame Christmas gift, but oh dear. You may run your office programs for a limited time. Yeah. Do you want to enter? No, I will not want to enter a product key. Don't have my original set anymore. Run all from my computer. What does that even mean? I'm so confused. Not available. Or installed on first use, is that what that is? Sure. I have no idea what that means. I guess if you have like the CD-ROM, you can use that as extra storage or something. What's this? Office tools. Sure, I'm just gonna go with the default here. Well, hold up. No. I want all of it. Give it all to me. Go to Office Online. Well, I mean, that still works. Microsoft 365, yeah. I feel like one day this might date this video for when this was filmed. Microsoft will be gone. But yeah, taken in the brain rot wars or something like that. Yeah, here we go. We've got a PowerPoint. I feel like these, to me, these are the true classic versions of MS Office. I'm glad I tracked this down. I wasn't able to very easily track down the other Office versions, or at least as easily as this one. And I wasn't as motivated to anyway. But I'm glad we're able to switch it up. I've always been I always found it weird that Microsoft Office isn't just bundled with Windows, but I guess that's probably kind of a antitrust type situation. They're being careful around. Probably not anymore, but yeah. And about some Microsoft Word as well. Never used OneNote. This version of Excel too. Oh my god, it's gonna keep asking that, isn't it? Well, do we have the mass scripts? No, we don't. Okay, I'm gonna fix that real fast. Oh my god, I'm gonna show my IP address. Bro, don't DDoS me, please. Do we have curl? Curl.exe? That's kind of annoying. But I guess we should have invoke web request, right? We do not. Oh dear. Nothing. Nothing at all. I guess this is PowerShell v1, to be fair. Ugh. Alright, that's fine. We have a web browser. It's good enough. No, I don't want you to be default anything. Not now, not before, you know? Ugh. What? Oh, god damn. It's not very, not very user-friendly, is it? Kind of not shocking that it was, like, never a preference. Yeah. Buzz off, buddy. There we go. Let's do it for Office. Installed Office is definitely a thing. Genuine installation media. What in the hell is even that? Oh dear. Alright, fine. I mean, we can have a go at that. It's gonna complain about .NET or something. Oh no, there it is. Alright, let's try activate Office All. Windows 8 and later. Oh no. Sure. Yeah, that's not gonna work, and I can't be bothered to fix it. I'm sure the ISO I have downloaded has like 10 viruses in a trench coat or something. I feel like archive.org ISOs are pretty sketchy, to be honest. I feel like once you read the comments, I don't know, like there's many people who are clearly just kind of imbeciles, but you know, sometimes you do wonder if they got a point. If it is like, oh, it gave me virus. I feel like I saw that for something totally random, like MS-DOS. I don't even know, like, why would you ever write that? That's clearly not true. Whatever. Anyway, not that, you know, a download of MS-DOS can't contain a virus for whatever reason, but it doesn't make sense the way the person was describing it. But yeah, we get some nice word art in here. Yeah, something like that. I don't know what I'm writing anymore, but there's, you know, PowerShell, which I've already shown off, I think. There's PowerShell ISE, and more of a script editor type situation. That it has either. But yeah, that's Windows 7. It's very cool. Really do like it. Oh, you get sticky notes. Almost forgot. In the version of Paint, and I think Calculator as well. Yeah, that's cool. Should have checked out the task manager and all of them. Damn. I feel like Dave's Garage never gonna like me now. Nice calculator, much more refined than the Vista or Longhorn or whatever the last one we looked at was. I do love me sticky notes. I feel like they're pretty cool. And I use them to this day, believe it or not. Just neat little reminders, you know. Yeah, I think we are done here. Nice shutdown sound. Windows 7 doesn't have the best startup sound, but it is a really cool shutdown sound. Moving on. Meanwhile, over at Apple, the triumph that was macOS 10 continued with OS X version 10.8. OS X was kind of the marketing name at this point. Mountain Lion. Yeah, they had a theme. It was a refinement over Lion, which brought in a lot of new features to it, like the Launchpad, bringing in an iOS-like user interface to macOS for app launching. I want to show off Photoshop here as well, but sadly I couldn't get it running. Probably a dodgy copy, but I do have a functional browser here, so that's kind of cool. So this is the first operating system I've been able to virtualize from Apple in a long, long time. And what an OS it is, what a system. It's really very good, I have to say. 10.4 deserves most of the praise because I think that's where a lot of the changes came from. This is 10.8 from 2012. But I feel like this is still very much in the same design language, in the same style, just quite a refinement. They got the App Store in this, they got the Launchpad in this. It is very much a firmly post-iPhone Apple era macOS, but it is a good one. There it goes. Yeah, look at that. We got the iTunes right there. iMessage setup. Skip. Get out. Oh my god. It's already having some problems. Yeah, this VM isn't the most stable, but yeah, neat settings menu. I have to say, I don't actually remember the macOS settings looking like this. But yeah, there it is. See if the show all button like that. Oh no, it's just that. Well, yeah, yeah, you get little drop downs instead of how it normally goes. Yeah, the reason I do have it in pretty low resolution, I think a MacBook Air might have had a resolution like this. Kind of more of a Windows PC resolution. The reason is that there's no hardware acceleration, and so Launchpad will be very, very laggy. And I feel like this is kind of impressive. Really really an evidence of where it's all gonna go. And as you can see, I do have Firefox installed. It's the oldest Firefox still supported in macOS 10.8, which I think is still holding my mouse button like it's 1990 something. I feel like that's gonna be a habit now. Firefox ESR 45.9, so it's still way too old. I don't think it'll play any videos on even here. Oh no, that works. That works just fine. That was an outro from
hey guys, John Rettinger here.
the Chemical Brothers, right? That one song, The Train. When is this posted? Yeah, 2009. I do also have this version of Chromium that is even more up to date. I think if we just go on like google.com, yeah, it's perfectly fine. You can still just use it. It's not like the fallback Google page. It's got the hockey. But yeah, there we go, Google Chrome. Applying, oh no. That sounds like a threat. What is this? Does not seem like it's anything to do with the Google Pixel. So quiet. Utterly mystifying.
Mas se procurarmos um iPhone.
Oh, já são 10 para as 2.
For all I know, that was all just like slurs. Non-stop like slurs. I do also have Arctic Fox. I don't even remember what I installed this for. I do have Transmission, and if you are wondering, it is not the version of Transmission that has the like... This is not the version of Transmission that has Karanger, but it is the one immediately after. What a thing. I found this by complete accident because I went on Transmission. I went on their like GitHub releases to try and download it. And if you're wondering why I needed that, it's because of Photoshop. Fortunately, the Photoshop I got is like busted. Look at that. That was quick Photoshop. And the Adobe Bridge is all busted. I tried it in like English, I tried it in Russian. None of it seemed to work very well. So I was trying to find the oldest version of it that had a DMG I could install. And I was like, oh great, this one seems great. And then I was like, look at this. And I was like, ransomware removal into the app. I was like, what the f- that sounds really reliable. And then when I looked it up, it was this. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I think I have the one app right now. Transmission. Maybe another time. Is there like an about? Yeah. There we go. 292. Bless them for coming out with a fix so fast, I suppose. But yeah, what a story. That was so random. What a discovery. But yeah, so anyway, Mac OS. You get a black text on white terminal. True classic for macOS and GNOME. Do get our console for errors and whatnot. Get Photo Booth by now. Get Notes app. Very reminiscent of the Notes app on like iOS 4. I like it. Nice and skeuomorphic. Cool font. There you go. email or even message, instant messaging, big time. So obviously I'm not gonna sign in to this. I don't think I can anyway. Although, I mean, doubt it would work. Tell you what, I'll give it a shot. So, somewhat predictably, that did not work. Not too surprised at that. I'm not sure if I did something wrong or, I don't know, email is like a whole thing. It asked me a bunch of questions that I really don't know the answers to. What a view. Interesting. Ooh. Ooh. Look at it go. Look at it go. Oh my god. Look at it go. Just flies, it just slots right in. That's so satisfying. Oh my god. I like how the travel path is so interesting. Whoa. A light speed over there. But yeah, really, if you put it like all the way over there, it's just the diagonal path of it. That's so cool. Wish OSs still did that. But yeah, classic iTunes. I was a big iTunes fan. I remember using iTunes for a really long time. I remember buying all sorts of music on iTunes. And I remember just using iTunes for the longest time. Up until I don't know, 2017, 2018 is when I stopped and I migrated over to I think first it was Google Play Music is where I first went to. Seemed the most immediately appealing one, and then the algorithm was great, the recommendations were great. Back then, all of that was kind of a novelty, and just it worked well. Everything just was right. I remember Apple Music was around that time, and they just launched, and their app was like horrible, just absolute dog shit that did not work on my Pixel whatsoever. So I stuck with Google Play Music. And before you ask, no, I used Google Play Music before I bought a Pixel. Getting a Pixel, Google Play Music was the gateway drug to getting like a Google Pixel. Because Google products were pretty good back then. They're genuinely pretty good value. They were definitely in that position where like they were begging for stuff. They weren't like some kind of, evil like defense contractor type shit like they are now. But yeah, and all that stuff, and I was like a Google simp for a little bit. I had the Google Home Mini. I had Android Pay. I was a big early adopter of Android Pay in like 2018. By then I'd switched to Spotify, but yeah. It's weird that this is an Apple thing and I'm talking about Google only, but I figured this just brought on some memories of early like smartphones and stuff. But yeah, there you go. OS X polished. It's nice. There's not much to talk about, Does it make a sound if I empty it? No. Oh, there it is! Made a sound. It was just a little delayed. It was late to the party, but it made a noise. Also comes with Safari, its own browser, which is shockingly still a thing to this day. I find that absurd that it's still a thing, Safari's cool. 2013, I thought this was 2012, but yeah. Also, this wallpaper, I don't think is the one that actually comes with this OS. I think this is just the wallpaper I put on. Yeah, this is the one that it comes with, which is a different Galaxy-themed image. I just kind of dig this one. Very Frutiger, this. The space theme after the big cat. Well, the big cat naming scheme is still around. This is like Mountain Lion or something. But yeah, they had those few releases in the middle there that had all these like space themes to it before. It worked really well. I was always like pretty jelly of people who had like a MacBook or something back then. Even though like they were never that good at value. And I was like, I'd want one if I could just have it, but I'd also want like a proper PC so I could play games on it and shit. I mean, priorities, so like a 15-year-old where it's at. But yeah, I feel like Classic Finder is pretty cool. Dig the Classic Finder look. Shared connection failed. Desktop. That's interesting. But yeah. This is such a dodgy crack I downloaded off of Root Tracker as well. Does this have the stacks? Clean up. No, maybe not. Just so nice and polished and so fucking aesthetic. Can't deny it. Oh, turn there we go. Oh my god. Okay, maybe the magnification's a little much. It wasn't, yeah, I don't know why that's set to max. There we go. That's more like it. That's how I remember it. Maybe even less, to be fair. Yeah, something like this. I feel like it's kind of what I remember it like. Little bounce, little fold out. Still works the same way in so many ways. It's kind of impressive. It's the scale effect. It's kind of a more like simple. No one wants the scale effect. We want that genie, that liquid smooth animation. Look at that. Perfect. Shame can't connect to the App Store. You do get some customization. Yeah, it does make it red. What's this sidebar icon? Oh, it's these, yeah. Kind of like them big, actually. Makes me think of Windows 7. Can't believe there was a time when Windows accidentally, just that one time, outdid macOS on aesthetics, and it was not like during a particularly weak year for macOS either. Like, this is like incredible the way it looks. And still, I find myself thinking Windows 7 just looked better. Do like the notification stuff though. That's very forward thinking. I feel like Windows 8 is when that started becoming a thing. Also, this graphite surface, I swear that was somewhere in iOS too. Not iOS version 2, but like as in also in iOS. I feel like this was iOS 5, right? They added the notifications shade. iOS 5 or iOS 6, something like that. I remember I had it on an iPhone. Anyway, so that's macOS. Very cool, I think. Pretty cool. And, you know, it's decent. It's decent. Alright, moving on.